everybody. And today we are starting off our show with Jacob McCann. And, Jacob's a great friend of mine, and I have had the opportunity to work with him for, going on, 5 years now, Jacob?
Yeah, I think 6.
Yeah. And, he looks like a young guy now. And let me tell you something, when he came on board, he was a young guy then, too. And, he's accomplished a lot.
Yeah,
And today, we're going to talk a lot about, right now we're in this COVID-19 deal. And, that's going to turn into a historical event. But I think that what we're trying to do is to create a relevance with this for just about any obstacle that hits us in the middle of the face. And life is full of obstacles and challenges. And it's how we handle those obstacles and challenges and allow them to either affect us or inspire, empower us to be better at what we do. So with that, Jacob, you've been in the real estate business. You're doing great. Tell us about your game plan and tell us about what you're doing and what you're about.
Yeah, it's just like everything. You have to adapt and overcome. Things happen in life, and you got to roll with the punches. And so right now, what me and in my business, my mom, what we're trying to get done right now is really, first we cleaned up. We cleaned up our office, we cleaned up our house, we cleaned up our CRM, our client relation management system, and we were feeling good about some things. And then I was like, well, we really need to start adding more to this while we're just sitting on our couch. Let's start reaching out. And so that's what we did. We went on to Facebook, we went on to Instagram, and just started messaging the people that we wanted into our system. And the response level right now is almost 100% because half the people are sitting on their couch as well. So that's where we started.
So are you going after, like when you said you were reaching out and messaging folks that you wanted in your system, these are new prospects, right?
Yes, these are people that, are either our friends' family or our friends' family's family that we've followed for a while, that we have at least an online relationship with.
Right.
And, you get to that stage where they know you, so you might as well send them a message and see if you can't help them or help someone they know.
Excellent.
I think that's the most important thing is sometimes we get in our own heads and we think that, we're trying to sell something to them. And really, we're not trying to sell anything to them, but a real estate transaction is rough. And if you can have a good agent on your side, it means a lot.
I was just reading an article and preparing for another dialogue on that. And, and Jacob, you're part of that 10%, who's top 10%, let's qualify that. And, being a part of that top 10% in talks about all kinds of different things, talks about quality customer service. And Jacob, what is quality customer service in your mind? It's just not the donuts arriving on, warm. That's not customer service.
Right.
What is it in your world?
Customer service is one, your client comes first, period. That really is customer service in the grand scheme of things. But two, where customer service matters is when it gets rough, when that transaction gets rough and it's not going the way that they thought it was, and it's not all sunshine and rainbows, that's when, the customer service, the quality customer service really comes in. It's our job to guide them in those tough times. And, they come before us. So, it's not my commission check first. It's not, this house of a realtor friend of mine, I want to get sold. All that comes second to what our clients want. And I think that's really where, customer service, good customer service comes from.
So what keeps you up at night?
Disappointing my clients really keeps us up. Me and my now 4, but my other partners, we will call each other at midnight if our clients aren't happy. It's that type of way. We care more about our clients sometimes than we do, the other people in our household.
Now you're part of a team. Tell us about the team,
Yeah.
Jacob.
So I started with my mom, and so we started as a team. Totally blessed that I did that. It was one of the best moves I've ever done. Um, but with the team dynamic, I think one, people feel like they're getting more bang for their buck sometimes, right? You have 3 or 4 people working for you. At the same time, another person's going to be paying someone else that has one person working for them, and I think sometimes that is in our in our favor.
So COVID-19, back to that.
Yeah.
Open houses, showings, listing presentations. How are you handling all that?
So open houses have been a real tough one, right? We can't really do them, but as as things start to open up, I think people are going to be surprised on how virtual open houses aren't going to go away. And so this is a really good time to practice those virtual open houses, when you only have 1 to 10 people looking at your video or whatever, it's a really good time to use that to practice. I think Steph said it yesterday. Even Kobe Bryant practiced, even, the best of them practice. So it's just something you do.
Right. And
Um,
what have you learned throughout this last 8 weeks? What they always say, what's your big takeaway?
right.
Yeah.
And there's a couple there, but I think most importantly, connecting with each other, right? It really is that easy if you can put if you can just pick up the phone or, just to write a text message, right? Connecting with someone right now is so much easier than it was at the beginning of the year, right? I think the more people sit at home, the more people, contemplate what's really going on here, people really start to decide what's important. And I think, camaraderie, the connection between you and me is more important than most things in life.
Well said. Well said. You and I talked a little bit earlier today about the market being off.
Yeah.
Tell me what your thought was on that, and whether or not that's an advantage, a disadvantage, and what's your mindset?
Yeah. So it's, in my opinion, right? These are all opinions. It is an advantage. If you're someone that wants to buy a house right now, it's a good time. There's competition, of course, there's still competition. But you're not having that same competition as there was, just a few months ago. And so, where the market is, I guess you could consider it down, our prices haven't dropped. It's still a good market for sellers as well. And as the summer comes, as everything opens back up, we have so many people that want to buy homes, including myself, so people aren't going to stop buying homes. And I see where COVID has affected the current statistics, right? But I don't think that in the long run, it's not a housing crisis. We're not having a housing crisis. People can afford their loans still. People still want to buy housing. People want to move. People want out of their parents' houses. People want out of their, they're living in multi-generational houses and stuff. And people they want out. They want their own place, especially after COVID.
Yeah.
We've learned a lot about our households.
What do you think about interest rates?
They're great, right? As a buyer, how could you not be excited about where these interest rates are? I mean, when I first started, interest rates were still low too, right? But you guys always called it free money. And so when my parents explained to me the interest rate they bought a house at, oh yeah, this stuff is easy. This is nice.
So I remember the day when, a lender walked into my office when I was selling, 40 years ago. And he said, hey, what are the rates today? And, well, they've gone down to 18%. And yeah, so yeah, they went down to 18%. And we started doing the happy dance. And but those are challenges. Those are challenges. This is the COVID deal is not. It's a serious matter, but it's a temporary hit. That once it's I think we're coming to a head on this thing quickly. to where people are going to be out and about and want to get into those houses, want to look at them. You hit the nail right on the head, man. The virtual stuff, and pictures, and having a quality picture,
Yes.
and using the videos to tell the story, right?
Right. I can relate to that, right? As someone my age looking to buy, whether it's investment or whether it's for myself, if all I have to do is pick up a phone and say, hey, Bob, can you do, send me the video to your listing? Can you do a virtual open house? That's way easier for me. I can go about my life. I can see it. And maybe because I'm in real estate, maybe not, but I can tell by a video whether I want to go see that house or not.
Well, and do you think that buyers along the way, you're going to have a choice to where in years past, we'd say, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, we're going to go out and look at 5, 6, 8 homes today. And we're going to spend 8 hours doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Or would you prefer to sit down, in front of our big screen in the conference room, go through those and take a look at those homes, narrow that down to about an hour's worth of time. And now we've got 2 or maybe 3 that we want to go look at as a result of that. And while that technology has been available for a long time, I don't think we as realtors have wrapped our heads around it to where we are now.
Right.
And it's just a great tool to use.
Right. No, I was explaining that to my mom yesterday. She loves, one of her favorite parts of this business is going to look at homes. And I think it's all of ours, we love going to look at homes. But at the end of the day, like you just said, because we live in a very fast moving pace society currently, we like to save time where we can. And I think by doing, these virtual tours and these virtual open houses, people are going to save time. And like most people say, convenience is everything, right? Once you make something convenient, you can't go back.
I know. Once they start delivering pizza, you're eating pizza.
That's right.
I don't know what that means. The other thing is, let's talk a little bit about virtual listing presentation, CMA.
Okay.
And how you see that fitting in with the prospects and getting engaged that way as well.
Right. So that also is not going to go away, right? We personally had some clients this year that if that was a good option, they probably would have went with a virtual listing presentation. They were just those types of people where if I can interview a couple agents virtually, then I'll bring one in and go about it. And so that's also not going away. I think, like I had said earlier, right now is a great time to be practicing that stuff, right? Figuring out what slides work, figuring out what platform works for you, figuring out, what look, looks good for you while you're on a camera. It's different. It's different being behind the phone than it is being in front of someone. And I know most of us are more comfortable in front of people, but this phone thing isn't going away. So I think it's just time to embrace it and hone our skills in it.
So, Jacob, we got to get new portrait shots because, the high school pictures aren't going to work anymore because when you come
Exactly.
you can still pull that off.
Yeah. No, me and my team, we're going to be doing new photos soon. So it's one of those things you need to keep up. People pay attention to this stuff, It's just as realtors, we own our own business. And so you got to treat it that way.
All right. Hey, we've covered a lot of stuff this morning, Jacob. I really appreciate it. Anything you want to add, anything that was on your mind before we got together that you wanted to share? Now's a great time to do that.
Yeah, definitely. So on top of, going through your social medias and reaching out to people, I think right now is a great time to be reaching out to businesses, right? A lot of businesses are going to be reopening in the next couple of months or a couple of weeks or even a couple of days. And so to even just reach out and say, hey, I'd love to throw you up on my platform. Can I come by and make a video of your establishment? And just really, getting yourself involved in other businesses. A ton of business comes from other businesses. Business to business is a huge market. And I think right now is a good time to be doing that.
Wow, Jacob, that's an amazing idea. And you put together like a collage of short collage videos
Exactly.
You know, you start pushing that out with these guys, and now
Yeah.
you're doing a huge service,
Hmm.
and getting those guys, of course, to share it on their stuff because they're looking for it. And you know,
Exactly.
you get 20 restaurants.
And online is just one way to do it, right? If your pizza place down the street is you know, like a homegrown pizza place, right?
Yeah,
Go in there, see if they want to split a flyer with you. Do your farm that you're doing. Half is the pizza place, half is you. That's value to these people, you know? So it's
exactly
just
right.
really how you're thinking about it.
So good stuff, Jacob. Good stuff. I sure appreciate having you on with me today, Jacob
Yeah,
McCann.
thanks
You
for
know,
having me.
oh man, I admire you. You do a great job with your business.
Thank you.
You know how to overcome obstacles, and you know how you got this COVID-19 thing going. And I'm proud of you. Good job.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, have a great day. Charge on, everybody.